ഫുട്ബോൾ പ്രേമി പോഡ്കാസ്റ്റിലെ വീണ്ടും ഒരു എപ്പിസോഡിലേക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും സ്വാഗതം. പ്രീമിയർ ലീഗ് തുടങ്ങാൻ ഒരു ദിവസം ബാക്കി നിൽക്കെ വി ആർ കവറിംഗ് ദ ടോപ്പ് 6 ടീംസ്, വാട്ട് വി കൻ എക്സ്പെക്ട് ഓർ ഹൗ വി കൻ എക്സ്പെക്ട് ദം ടു ലൈൻ അപ്പ്. കീ സൈനിങ്സ് ആരൊക്കെയാണ്, what can we expect from those new signings, and what should or what is a goal to classify a season as success for each of the teams. So ഈ എപ്പിസോഡിൽ നമ്മൾ കവർ ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത് ടോട്ടനംനാണ്. മീഡിയയുടെ സ്വന്തം, ജനപ്രിയയുടെ സ്വന്തം, ഫാൻസിന്റെ സ്വന്തം ജോസെ മൊറീനോയുടെ സെക്കൻഡ് സീസൺ, ദി ഫേമസ് ഓർ ഇൻഫേമസ് സെക്കൻഡ് സീസൺ. So what can we really expect from Tottenham? Starting, I think we'll compare with the gameplay that Pochettino had implemented at Spurs. I know a drastic change ആണ് മൊറീനിയോ കൊണ്ടുവന്നിട്ടുള്ളത്. With the very fact that Pochettino's game എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ it was high intensity pressing, steady possession, ball എടുക്കുക, move ചെയ്യുക, the team moves along with the ball. And I think what Mourinho, when he came in 12 games into last season, was that the midfield is not what he wants. So first thing he has implemented in the team is how to bypass the weakness that he has given. He doesn't really have a summer window yet. അപ്പോൾ അതാണ് നമ്മളിവിടെ അനലൈസ് ചെയ്യാൻ ശ്രമിക്കുന്നത്. If you see the image on the right, is basically ഇത് കാണിക്കുന്നത് സെന്റർ ബാക്സ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഡിഫൻഡേഴ്സിന്റെ their farthest line of attack ലേക്കുള്ള ഡയറക്റ്റ് പാസ് അറ്റംപ്റ്റ്സ് in at the time of Pochettino. On an average, defenders in let's say Kane or when Mora used to play the second striker, Mora like 2 to 3 passes of which 80% Alderweireld മാത്രമാണ് അറ്റംപ്റ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ളത്. ആ ഗെയിമിൽ നിന്ന് കംപ്ലീറ്റ്ലി ഫോക്കസ് ഹാസ് ബീൻ ഷിഫ്റ്റഡ്. ഈ ലെഫ്റ്റ് സൈഡിൽ കാണുന്ന പറഞ്ഞാൽ on an average that attempt has been doubled, and both the center backs have attempted direct passes to Kane. A yellow line, of course, is unsuccessful attempts because they have not been very successful in doing it. But Mourinho's style is clearly visible. More direct play, get the ball up to Kane and the second striker, and then get the attack from there. What do you say, Sham?
That is surprising. Mourinho has practiced and perfected that method a long time. But I think what he wants to bring is direct passing endayalu undavu. That is always a feature of his game. I think he'll bring and try to bring in a lot more control in that control on the game with his midfield. അതുകൊണ്ടായിരിക്കും എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത് he brought in Højbjerg, and trying to keep out Ndombele and players like that out of the center mid, because he doesn't want people who carry the ball. He wants people who can control the game. Both on the offensive side as well as on the defensive side. Pinna where what is expectations for Spurs and ചോദിച്ചതില്, the one thing that you can definitely expect is a lot of drama. Media drama ഉണ്ടാവും, മൊറീനിയോയുടെ വക ഉണ്ടാവും. Pinna for some reason I feel like Tottenham is at that point where Chelsea was in 2003-2004. Where everybody know that they are a good team, but they are not performing to the expectation. And Mourinho is a manager who can build that, what you say, our mentality, us versus them ennulla mentality build cheyyunna oru manager aanu. And I think this is a kind of like a perfect team for him in that regard.
I think media drama already തുടങ്ങിയല്ലോ, since
already തുടങ്ങി, all or nothing ഒക്കെ ഇട്ട് തുടങ്ങിയിട്ടുണ്ട്.
കുറവില്ല.
Right. Then next thing I think is tactics wise. So I don't think Unitedlum Madridlum ഒക്കെ Mourinho face ചെയ്ത ഒരു പ്രശ്നം എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഫാൻസ് ബാക്ക്ലാഷ് ആയിരുന്നു over tactics. Tactics was a big issue in those two clubs. That's where I was comparing Chelsea and 2003 Chelsea and now Tottenham. They don't mind. I don't think they would mind. They would mind as long as the results are coming. They would not mind the style for now, at least. So results, tactics wise, I think they are a right fit. Mentality wise, I think they are a right fit for a Mourinho team. Squad wise, I don't think they are there yet though.
Yeah, but I think, tactics might not be a concern, but comparison definitely down, because contrasting gameplay,
contrasting styles ആണ്. അതെ. I think our regard Pochettino to Mourinho is a changeover, like
it's not
United found with LVG to Mourinho ഒരു ചേഞ്ച് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നല്ലോ. ആ സെയിം ചേഞ്ച് തന്നെ ആയിരിക്കും കാണുന്നത്. കാരണം മൊറീനോ നീഡ്സ് എ ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് പ്ലേയേഴ്സ്. ആ സ്ക്വാഡിൽ അതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞത് ദർ ഇസ് എ ഗ്യാപ്പ്. Mourinho need a lot of players who are strong on the ball, who can dictate the pace of the game. Control on the ball is very important for him. See, 2003 Chelsea side എടുത്ത് നോക്കി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ he had Lampard in center of the park. He still brought in Essien and who was the other one, Makelele, and Drogba up front also. So he was trying to bring in a lot of those strong players who have really good control on the game. To he likes people who catch the game by the scruff of the neck. Our type of players, and I think he will still hunt. Squad depth wise, I think they need a replacement for Kane. Not a replacement, but a backup for Kane. Because
before we go into what he needs or not, and how do we see Spurs lineup given നമ്മൾ സ്റ്റൈൽ ഓഫ് പ്ലേ പറഞ്ഞു, മൊറിനോയ്ക്ക് വേണ്ടത് എന്താ പറഞ്ഞു, ബട്ട് all of a sudden when you look at who could play behind Kane, I think the only assured starter is Son, whereas he has Lo Celso, Lamela, Dele Alli. I think Dele Alli also would start, and Bergwijn as well. So suddenly
I think nailed on starters നോക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ Son മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. I think he'll play two formations. United last season when they restarted the game or restarted the Premier League after Corona break, they played 4-4-1-1. So he flooded the midfield with four players and he was playing on the counter attack. അങ്ങനെയാണ് Bergwijn ആ ഗോൾ കിട്ടിയതും counter attack ആയിരുന്നു. 4-4-1-1 ആയിരുന്നു അവർ കളിച്ചത്. I think that will be his one formation that he'll play, but his preferred formation will be 4-2-3-1.
ബർഗ്വൈന്റെ ഗോൾ കിട്ടിയത് അതുകൊണ്ട് മാത്രല്ല, അത് discussion for another day.
Discussion for another day.
I think the 4-4-1-1 suits them, right? They can bring in Mora there or they can bring in Bergwijn. And Kane, the injury was a big hit for him, right, last year.
I think that is because if you look at the passing pattern itself, Kane is under a lot of pressure to bring down a lot of direct balls from the center backs and all that. It is a completely different style of play for Kane itself. So I think that's why I think he might bring in another striker.
I mean agrees to the point that Sham said, right? Kane allada oru center forward aa team il ipo illa. And especially let's say when you check the start of Tottenham season, they play like 7 games in the first 24 days, including the Europa qualifiers. And Kane is more or less likely to play 90 minutes throughout. അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെ ഒരു സ്ഥിതിയിൽ Kane ഇല്ല എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ there is no one to play that striker, so all the more impetus on him.
England also is a sure starter and captain. Yeah. He's played like from at least 60 games a year, so and given he had a big hamstring surgery, I think they need a backup.
They are actually in the market for a backup, so they are definitely looking into that.
I mean one more thing before we move on, I think they might also be open to trying 3 at the back. Not sure how confident Mourinho is with Davinson Sanchez, but the signing of Doherty gives them that flexibility to push both the wing backs up, because Ben Davies doesn't have as much of an offensive output as Matt Doherty, but Doherty gives you that advantage wherein he can win you those first ball headers from the goalkeepers that can actually like start your attack. So we'll go on to that. So with the signing is what we can see. Bergwijn included the Karnam because he was a winter signing last season. I think January and this is his first full season with Tottenham, and so we have included that. Bergwijn, I think, is someone who allows Mourinho to use either of Dele Alli or Lucas Moura as the second striker, because he can play that right wing just the way that Mourinho wants him to. So he could still be a decent signing in Kitonu. My pick of the signings is, I mean, I could choose either, but I think my pick of signings is Matt Doherty. Because he direct play, his aerial process is going to be like really, really important. Keeper in the ball, defenders in the long ball. He, especially last season, he has shown that he can win those first balls. He may not be pacier than Aurier, but acceleration insane. He may not start off the blocks as fast
Yeah,
as your other
top speed
center backs.
top speed ഇല്ലെങ്കിലും acceleration covering defender ആണ്, very good covering defender.
So I think he'll fit into Mourinho's system perfectly.
He also has an injury concern, right? Like he was injured last season for last 2 seasons.
Yeah, I think
last
that's
season he missed some playing time. Yes.
I mean that's for the same reason I think. കാരണം Wolves had Europa fixtures, Wolves had Premier League. He started I think almost all of it.
All the games, yeah.
Except the time that he was in. So yep, that could be a concern. Orier neck ആണെങ്കിൽ he will have a good enough backup I think, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I think Højbjerg signing also makes sense because he's not someone who's like great at something, but he has a bit of everything. Like he gives 100% commitment. There is no second thought. So half 50-50 tackle, he will go all in, and that's the kind of play that usually Mourinho wants in the center midfield.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
in that regard, Højbjerg is a.
And I think
Højbjerg is purely Mourinho signing in that regard.
ഈ മറ്റേ പ്രൈം വീഡിയോയിലും അതിൽ മൊറിനോ പറഞ്ഞൊരു പോയിന്റ് ഉണ്ട് ദാറ്റ് മിഡ്ഫീൽഡേഴ്സ് ആർ നോട്ട് ടേക്കിംഗ് ഇനഫ് ഷോട്ട്സ്. അത് ഹോയ്ബർഗ് വന്നാൽ ക്ലീൻ ആവും. സൗത്ത് ആംപ്ടണിൽ ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ ഷോട്ട്സ് എടുക്കുന്ന പ്ലെയറാണ് മിഡ്ഫീൽഡിന്. He doesn't care 30 yard 40 yard, if he sees an opening he'll go for it. Most of them
the thing was in 2004 Chelsea side, right? What made it click was Lampard. So Lampard was the guy who was controlling the attacking pace. Plus, he was a goal scorer. See, Mourinho lacked that same person in United, and he lacks. He have to mold someone into that position in Tottenham right now. Lo Celso anengilum, Lamela anengilum, they are all great with their feet, but they would rather take on a person than trying to hit a shot. അതാണ് അവിടെ ഒരു എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു മൊറീനോ കാണുന്ന ഒരു ഡിഫറൻസ്. മേ ബി
trying his best to make Dele Alli the next Lampard, but
I don't think they are at the same level or style as well.
But he's saying the same things what he said about Lampard.
Yeah, he says the same things. Yeah.
Work ആവുന്നില്ല. Dele Alli is like, screw you, I'm not interested in your
കഴിഞ്ഞ കൊല്ലം they signed a player called Gedson Fernandes, right?
There is a
Gedson Fernandes. Yes.
Gedson Fernandes.
And also he brought Tanganga. Tanganga is playing a lot of games now. He brought him from academy, gave him a big bumper deal like 50k per week or something. He was like on 3k.
Yeah, I think അതുകൊണ്ടാണ്
അങ്ങനെ നോക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ പുള്ളി sorry Arun, go on.
No, I was saying that ആ ഒരു തങ്കങ്ക വന്നത് കാരണമാണ് ഈ റോസിന്റെ കോൺഫ്ലിക്ട്സ് ഒക്കെ വന്നത്. സെയിം പൊസിഷൻസിലും അത് പ്ലേ ചെയ്തതും ഞാൻ ഈ ഓൾ ഓർ നത്തിങ്ങിൽ കണ്ടപ്പോ കുറച്ചുകൂടെ ഒരു ക്ലാരിറ്റി ഒക്കെ ഉണ്ട് അതിന്റെ.
They played him the left wing or
when you have a like solid left-footed left back ഉള്ളപ്പം അവിടെ ഒരു റൈറ്റ് ഫുട്ടഡ് പ്ലെയറിനെ വെച്ച് കളിപ്പിച്ചതിന്റെ ഇതും ഒക്കെ പറയുന്നുണ്ടായിരുന്നു.
I mean the flip side or the funnier side to that is Spurs and one of the record signings, Ndombele, Ryan Sessegnon, none of them are part of their first 11 discussions at all. So I think in the last 1-2 seasons, 80 to 100 million worth players are just sitting on the bench, not even part of the first team talk. So unless Mourinho or Levy pulls some of them out into other teams in the market, they're not going to get a backup for Kane that they so badly want. And
I think Ndombele was classical Mourinho trick, right? He comes in, he finds that one player, blames everything on him, tries to motivate him and says that you have to step up. But Ndombele didn't work with it. Ndombele was like, okay, I'm not playing, I'll just sit behind. So they were saying like he has gained like 10 pounds in that Corona season. He didn't even work out or something. So I think
he never worked out either way.
Mourinho has become a dinosaur now, that his whole strategy is not working. Pandakku work ചെയ്തിരുന്നു. പണ്ട് ഇങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞാ ഈ Makelele and all will pull up their sleeve and jump in. ഇപ്പൊ
No, I mean like I think he's looking for that kind of players even in the market. While he was at United also, he was trying to look into those kind of players for some reason, I think maybe it might change with Tottenham, but I don't see him getting a lot of players again, signing a lot of players.
Yeah.
It
അല്ല
might
അത്
be
ഇപ്പൊ ഈ
handpicked.
ബെഞ്ചിലുള്ള ആൾക്കാരെ ഐ മീൻ 100 million യു ആർ ജസ്റ്റ് സിറ്റിംഗ് ദർ നോട്ട് ഈവൻ പ്ലേയിങ് ദം അവരെ പുറത്ത് വിടാതെ ഐ ഡോണ്ട് തിങ്ക് ദേ ഗോണ ബ്രിങ് ഇൻ മോർ
Correct,
ഐ മീൻ
correct.
ബിഫോർ വി മൂവ് ഓൺ
I think the age of trying to find a player who will roll up his sleeves and do the dirty work for the manager is past. Almost every player has his agent, talking into his ear, trying to tell him what is your next best move, right? So that even when you're here, you're thinking about where you want to go next. So I think it's a more, mercenary kind of a setup right now. So I don't think you'll find, it's going to be very rare to find a player who is personally loyal to a manager. അങ്ങനെ ഒരു മനുഷ്യനുള്ളായിരുന്നു വില്യൻ ആയിരുന്നു who just signed with Arsenal. So I don't see another player like that out in today's market who's going to tie for Mourinho. So Mourinho അങ്ങനെ ഒരു expectation നോക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ probably he might be setting the up for failure.
പുള്ളി ആ ഒരു റോളിലേക്കാണ് എറിക് ഡയറിനെ കൊണ്ടുവരുന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത്. എറിക് ഡയർ പുതിയൊരു പൊസിഷൻ അല്ലേ ഇപ്പൊ പ്ലേ ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത്.
Center back is a new position.
സെന്റർ ബാക്ക് ആണ് കളിക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത്.
He has that nasty streak also. Like he can go worse if you want. He can go do that bad tackles. Mourinho വേണ്ട എല്ലാ തരികടയും ചെയ്യാൻ.
Okay, before we move on, Joe Hart signing makes sense, especially when you have Gazzaniga already.
I don't know.
Højbjerg and Hart, I have no idea why they signed them. Højbjerg, we still can make some arguments for him, but Hart, when Gazzaniga is there, I don't see why, but he might have his own reason.
Yeah.
See, again, another thing is like, Mourinho and goalkeepers, for some reason, there is this big, rift between Mourinho and his goalkeepers right from Madrid onwards. Courtois or De Gea, both of them had issues with him. Now, I think he's probably another thing targeting Lloris to, probably move out, and Joe Hart probably to take over. I don't know. I don't get why he signed that. I don't get why he signed him.
No,
It was a free transfer, അല്ലേ?
Yeah.
It was a free transfer. Yeah.
Free agent. Okay. So before we move on to expectation, just want to touch on what we talked about Matt Doherty. So, like I said, kind of there have been ample enough matches that we could see him winning the first balls in the opposing half, especially I think game week around close to the Premier League being paused. Aston Villa against Rematch, where he won those aerial duels 5 out of 6 or 5 out of 5 in the opposing half. So if you left side look on the image, if you see my marker is right on Doherty's feet. Right. So goalkeeper ne first kick, he wins the first header, he releases Jimenez there and Wolves are on the attack straight at the front. So അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു സ്റ്റൈലിൽ പറ്റിയ wingers ഉണ്ട് സ്പേഴ്സിൽ. On the right you have Bergwijn. If Lamela plays, Lamela is also like fast enough to do that. On the other side, if you look at the image on the bottom right, he wins the first header, brings it to midfield, and the game is started from there. So backline pass ചെയ്ത് കളിക്കാൻ comfortable അല്ല എന്നുള്ള situationൽ he can always start the attack right from the keeper to the opposition half, and Doherty has I think 8 times out of 10 won that aerial headers for him. That is a big plus point as to why he definitely brought in Doherty when Aurier actually was doing decent enough for Mourinho. Maybe not on the defensive side, but still yes.
Do you think he will start the first game?
I think he will. I mean, I am backing my claim, putting him in my FPL team. But yes, I think Doherty will start the first game against Everton, especially against Everton because you have Digne on that wing.
Right.
You need that space.
It's a home game, right? So
it is a home game.
Pretty good for them to come in.
So before we wind up, what is a realistic expectation or goal that Daniel Levy would have from Mourinho? Silverware for sure, I guess.
Yeah, trophies. I think that's probably the first word that Levy might have talked to Mourinho. Is that bring him a trophy is probably the first sentence that he have gone talk to Mourinho, because I think they were so close, right? I mean, in a couple of seasons they were so close to a silverware and never got it. So I think that probably
the biggest
might be,
silverware.
Yeah.
in club football.
I think Mourinho will definitely go for the Europa League.
He will go for the Europa League. He might go for the cup, one of the domestic cups. Probably the League Cup, because he knows that he knows how to get through the teams on that one.
I think League Cup or FA Cup is a sure shot entry in the goals for Mourinho. He has to win one of the two.
I think FA Cup,
And I think
FA Cup is a big
this
thing for
season,
Tottenham.
this season we don't have replays for the FA Cup or two-legged semi-finals for the Carabao Cup. So
Right.
it's all going to be like kind of a knockout type of thing, and I think that's where Mourinho really shines, right? So he lives for those elimination games. So
yeah, and maybe a good run in the Europa League. Good run in the Europa League.
He might look for a good run in the Europa League, because
I think the Europa run, Europa League win is very much in the cards, as long as they don't run into somebody like Sevilla. I think they pretty surely win the Europa League in my books. They have the personnel for it.
Sure.
They have the manager for it.
Surely, I think it's a bit of a stretch for the team in the current state, because at least 4 or 5 game weeks how he sets up his team, how they're gonna play together. I wouldn't put my money on Spurs to
But
win.
one good thing what Spurs have this time is they have a good the first 7 or 8 fixtures are really positive for them.
Yeah.
favorable. Yeah.
But on the flip side,
see,
they have like 7 fixtures. So fixture congestion ഉണ്ട്. It's not that they are out.
They have the playoffs. They have the Europa League playoffs and the Carabao Cup playoffs as well, I think. Third round or something coming in the next 20 days.
Look at it though. He won a Europa League with the squad in United, which I think man for man was inferior to the squad he currently has in Tottenham.
Right.
I think it's and given Mourinho's credentials, I think it's a sure shot. That's why basis of calling it a sure shot Europa League win.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it sure shot, just for the fact that I don't think the squad will hold up for a full Europa season.
That's my point.
At this point, he may get a traditional striker and then go for it completely. But at this point, I don't think there are some key areas like centre back is one key area. Striker is another key area. Midfield is another key area where he doesn't have the right players for his game. Bakela position, I think he's at least have a good backup. But centre back, I think first choice is Eric Dyer Alderweireld. Second choice, I don't think he's comfortable with Davinson Sanchez. So it's a toss up at that point.
I think
then Kane we already talked
biggest,
about.
Biggest deciding factor in Spurs season is going to be how Dele Alli or Lo Celso claim their creative player behind Kane position. Unless one of them fires, it's just Son and Kane, and that's not worked out for him. Okay, before we wind up, quick shout out. Where do you think Spurs is going to end? My call is 6th. I thought I'd say 7th, but I'll say 6th. 6th is where I think. Shabu?
I think they will land, 5th probably. I'll become the old Mourinho love. I'll just give him 5th.
Mourinho love.
I mean, my doubt is with Bielsa in the picture. Mourinho and Bielsa, I think they're not going to end up on the higher side, but they're going to decide who will.
Correct. True.
Yeah. I think also 6th. I think also 6th, 7th. 6th, 7th is where
Spurs will end up.
I think 6th or 7th is where I'm thinking.
Arun?
Europa League spot.
Ashik? Arvind? BSP?
I think competition is tight. Schedule is compressed. The squad hasn't really refreshed. So 6th or 7th, as Shambi says. I think Arsenal moves up this year above them. They have at least the personnel for it. Everyone else is rearming, powering up. I think That's the reason why I think Mourinho is going to put all his eggs in the Europa basket, right? Because he's going to find himself falling behind in the league very soon. At least without his backup striker, he's going to be falling behind in the league very soon.
So I think
Okay.
I didn't hear us.
That
5 or 6. Yeah.
Ashik, 6th. Okay, so I think we're in agreement again. Funnily enough, I think United City in the episode where we'll see that there'll be a lot of disagreement in the house, unlike what we have today. Okay, that's it for this episode. Thank you guys. Thank you all for joining.
See you guys.
Next episode.